Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Warriors episode 528. Woo! As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by Viable Human Chris Saturn.
Hi, Justin.
Hi. Hi, Saturn.
Second show energy.
Yeah, second show of the night. It's 10:43 p.m. as we begin this journey.
Yeah.
And I only have to be up at 7 a.m., so this is going to be great.
In fairness, you had to be up at 7 a.m. today, and we were playing Final Fantasy 11 until midnight.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Which dovetails into my week, which is much more Final Fantasy 11.
I played with you.
You did play with me. You made a character, and we played, and you got to level up a little bit, and you got, let's see, we made it up through Valkyrie Dunes.
Yeah.
And then
Selbina
logged you out in
level
Selbina,
15.
yeah, so that you're all queued up to teleport back home and get your trust quests done. And I am in what is it called? It's the something dark something tower, dark fin tower, something like that. Trying to hit my level 40 stuff. Because the guide recommends hitting level 40 before you move on to the next quest stuff. So I'm just grinding mobs there. And I think I've gotten pretty good at handling groups of 4 and 5 and 6 mobs with just a full team of trusts, which is its own specific skill because the trusts are really nice, but they will not attack an enemy unless you melee attack it at least once. Magic attacks don't count. None of that counts. You have to hit it with, in my case, my stick because I'm a black mage. And so figuring out how to wrangle your trusts and get them aggroed onto the right things is difficult. And also, Final Fantasy XI being a really old game with the server ticks, it lines up kind of weird with the melee sometimes.
Right.
And so I'm still doing a lot of that. And it's still good. It's still enjoyable.
They added the Final Fantasy XI themed raids into 14, and that was when I finally learned that it is not, in fact, Ronfaru.
Oh, what is it?
Is Ron Faure.
Oh.
Or something. Because it's Ranfaure.
I think I've always pronounced it Ron Far.
I always called it Ronfaru because I thought it was Ronfaru. It's not. The U and the R are in different positions.
There's a lot of stuff in Final Fantasy XI that I realize I pronounce weird because I was watching... I listened to a few videos of just like, beginner tips and shit.
Yeah.
While I was doing dishes or whatever, and people were pronouncing stuff all over the place. Like, I've always called Juno.
Yeah.
And I listened to a 40-minute video where the guy called it Juino the whole time.
No, it's Juno. Because that's also in 14 now, and they pronounce it Juno.
That one I was pretty confident Juno was the correct pronunciation, although it is spelled Jeuno, but that's still not Juino.
Yeah.
But he called it Juino the whole time.
Yeah, well, he's wrong.
And then there's a couple other ones where I was like, where I realized I was wrong on them.
Oh.
But 11 does have very hard to pronounce places.
Yeah.
There are some weird zone names. But still enjoying it. I've macroed my wave, and I wave at every person I run by.
Yeah.
And all of the time, and everyone ignores me almost 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But still very much enjoying it. If you play 11 or want to return to 11, come play with me, please. I want people to play with. It's a fun game, and it's more fun with other people. So come play as I slowly worm my way to level 99 with Black Mage, and then probably do a different job because I don't know. I'm in a link shell, and I watch people do in-game stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just in-game MMO content does not interest me.
Yeah.
It's that journey to end game is cool, and if I ever get there, I'll do end game for a little bit to experience it and have fun with it. But I kind of get the feeling that some of these people, it's just like, no, we've just been grinding the same end game content for years now,
Right.
And that doesn't sound super incredible to me.
And I don't think there's been any new content in 11 in at least 10 years.
They do pretty regularly.
Like they have little seasonal stuff.
Yeah, they do seasonal stuff, and they change around like which enemies are in different zones and stuff a little bit. But yeah,
balancing tweaks.
Same thing with EverQuest. When I was doing EverQuest, the end game was like, all right, you do raids, and I was a cleric, and they're like, all right, well, if you're a healer in a raid, you basically just stand in a long chain of healers, and you'll be like 5th healer, and every 10 minutes you'll heal 3 times and then sit down, and that's end game content for you. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. That sounds like doing a job. And I'm just here to kind of chill and hang out. So we'll see. Or it could be wrong. I mean, maybe all the in-game content in 11 is fucking fantastic and is super fun. I have no idea what it is because I watch people in my link shell talk, and they're speaking a different language. That kind of like, we've been playing this same MMO for 2 decades kind of language where you're like, I don't even know what you're saying.
Right.
Like, at all.
Even, 2 decades ago, I didn't understand my friends that were talking about the game when they were at end game and I wasn't.
Oh, yeah. I remember my first Valkyrie Dunes party. I was a black mage and I kept pulling aggro. And I remember someone had to finally message me and be like, stop getting aggro. And I was like, what is aggro? And they're like, well, the monster's supposed to attack the tank. And I was like, what is a tank? And they're like, it's that guy. And now as an adult would have been like, be a better tank. But back then I got really self-conscious and just logged out in the middle of my party because I was like, I don't know what it is, what they're telling me to do. I don't understand.
I had a nearly identical experience. Only I was playing as a white mage at the time, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And they were like, don't heal me until after I've established aggro. And I was like, I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah,
they're like,
you have low health. I need to heal you.
They're like, well, just wait till my health is lower. And so I started waiting till their health was lower. And they're like, dude, I'm about to die. And I'm like, well, you told me to wait.
Yeah.
And
also went on a bit of an ARPG kick. Titan Quest 2 hit early access. I picked that up for people curious. It is good. It's a little light on content, but I'll say that compared to Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4, it is a breath of fresh tropical breeze. It's very nice and fun and streamlined and simple. A thing I didn't like about D4 and Path of Exile was they're extremely complex. Like, it feels like the trees are these huge branching things and it's really complicated. And I just I'm not after that in my action RPGs.
Yeah.
I want what I want is to pretty quickly understand the skill tree, understand the build I want to go for, and then get to hitting pinatas that are goblins that swords burst out of. Right, and most of the game, I want to be just comparing swords to other swords. That's the real game, is looking for the biggest numbers on the swords and then hitting more pinatas. And so in that regard, it's good. Visually, it's great. It chugs a little bit. Like I have an i9 with a 4080, which is pretty, beefy computer.
Yeah, that's a pretty high-end machine.
I'm clocking 60 to 80 FPS, which for something like an ARPG really should be getting more. So I will say the requirements seem a little steep, but it's still early access. Does not run for
5.
I don't know what it is, to be honest. I'm not sure. Runs like shit on Steam Deck. I would call it unplayable. I think someone more tolerant than me could probably put up with it, but just really choppy, even all the way on low.
Yeah.
But then I was wanting to play it on Steam Deck, so I went back to Titan Quest 1 and played a bunch of that. And then for this episode's topic, I was pushed into playing some Diablo 2. So I got a repack of Diablo 2, which has built-in like widescreen and stuff. And I added in some mods that kind of improve the single-player experience. And I was playing some D2, and man, still a really good game. I played up through Act 2, so I guess a fourth of the game.
Yeah.
And tried to wrangle other people to play with me, and it didn't happen. And maybe I can wrangle people again. But have been greatly enjoying Sorceress in D2, which I've never done Sorceress because it's too squishy. I always play Barbarian. And it's hard to go from Whirlwind Barbarian to squishy Blizzard Sorceress. But I'm trying. It's tough times.
Never clicked with D2.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'd be your vibe. I don't see it being your vibe at all.
Yeah.
But man, I really, really love D2. I think like a lot of it is nostalgia. I can look at the design and understand that, like, hey, even compared to not that much later games like Titan Quest, which were like 5 or 6 years later, things have improved immensely. And even more modern ARPGs like Victor Vran and Grim Dawn and stuff, and Torchlight 2 greatly improved on the systems in D2. But D2 is still such a watershed moment in ARPG. Like, I feel like it really codified a huge amount of that subgenre.
Yeah.
and so yeah, still very good. Anyway, what have you been playing?
So I like you mentioned, I was playing some Final Fantasy 11 with you, and I
Yeah.
learned exactly how frustrating it is to install in
Oh my god,
2025.
it's an ordeal.
Yeah, I for fun, I did try to install from my original discs just to see if it was even
Why?
still possible.
Why would you say for fun before? That doesn't sound fun.
It is not, by the way. Windows 11 will absolutely not install those original discs. Granted, I was trying to go off my beta version discs, which are probably even less compatible, because they're designed for Windows 98.
Yeah.
But no, it did not take that, so I just downloaded it like you're supposed to, and then it was fine. Well, it was kind of fine eventually once I tweaked the shit out of it.
Sure,
Uh,
it is. Yeah.
Playing on a 4K monitor is hilarious just on the vanilla game because the text is
Everything's
all
tiny,
teeny tiny. It does not make the game look any better though.
I probably
Uh,
spent 2 or 3 hours getting it installed and tweaked correctly
Yeah.
so that it worked good, looked good, ran good enough.
Well, I would say that my actual engagement with the tweaking and everything was probably about 45 minutes to an hour, but the
Mhm.
actual install process still took 6-ish hours.
Oh yeah, it's the
Just to
download.
download.
You also happened to install the game the day after maintenance when the servers
Right,
were
yeah.
inevitably getting as slammed as 11 servers get.
Right, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but aside from that, I've started playing this game Worship, which I had
Okay.
gotten on Kickstarter. I had kickstarted it like 4 years ago or something, 4 or
Mhm.
5 years ago, and they finally released it in early access. And it had been so long since they announced it, and I backed it, and it released that I completely forgot what genre or anything it was. I just remembered it being a cute cult themed thing,
Sure.
and it was vaguely strategy. That's as much as I remembered going in. It's Pikmin. It's adorable cult themed Pikmin.
What? I want this. Oh, I'm looking this up.
So it's basically like the vibes to it are very Cult of the Lamb looking, as far as like
I
the
love Cult of the Lamb.
cutesy dark worshipy thing.
It's very
um,
white. It's
yeah,
very white.
Yeah, it is very bright. That's my biggest problem with it. But it's very cute and it plays basically like Pikmin. It's great. It's still early access. It's still pretty early in development, which is a shame because again, I kickstarted it like 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm enjoying it so far. It is cute, and I think if they keep going the path they're going, it should be a pretty neat little game.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'll keep an eye on that one. Let's do the news.
Okie dokie.
LRG's reissue of the PS4 Yakuza games are the exact same version of the software as was on the original Greatest Hits discs years ago.
Hmm.
And I don't really understand why they're reissuing any of these because they're still available.
So apparently, somebody within LRG who wished to remain anonymous claimed that the reason was that they wanted to publish the Xbox version because it never got a
Okay.
physical release.
All right.
And the stipulation was if they did, they also had to reissue the PS4 version.
When I
And
bought
so
my
they
PS5 like
reissued the
a year
PS4
ago or whatever, I
Yeah.
bought Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 and then 3, 4, 5, 6 remastered in a bundle
Yeah.
for like $90. Like they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
This makes
They're
no
cheap.
sense.
Yeah, whereas LRG was selling them, I think, for 30 or 40 each.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's
all
just
right
the
then.
exact same as what was on the original disc. Whereas the Xbox and Switch versions that LRG sold are the newest version as of printing.
Yeah. This is
So
weird.
dumb.
System Shock 2's alien sphincter doors were made with photos from a dev's colonoscopy. Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't need a picture of a butthole to know how to make a butthole door in a game, so I don't really know why he needed to show up with these photos.
Maybe it's because you're not an artist, Justin.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe. I got to really mentally get in that butthole space to draw the
You gotta
butthole
really
doors.
mentally get in that butthole, Justin.
I feel like you wouldn't need to be like, let me watch your whole colonoscopy before I can draw one wrinkled sphincter door. I just can't. I'm not inspired right now. I need you to help inspire me.
Yeah.
PS3 store went down for almost a week. Is it back up? It came back up, right?
It is back up, yes.
Let me remind people that there are still some games trapped on the PS3 store. If you insist
Yes.
on playing your games legally, you can still go pay for and download them there. And it seems like the store is on its last legs and has been for a while. I think
And
Sony tried to shut it down a little while
they
back,
did.
didn't they? And then everybody bitched.
But the other 2 consoles of that generation are already shut down. So it is the last one of that era. So if
Yeah.
you want anything from that era that is only available digitally, get it while you can.
Yeah, for sure. Really, hack your PS3 because
Oh,
then
yeah.
you
Yeah,
can
do that.
own your games.
It's easy.
But also, I still haven't hacked mine. I need to.
It's easy.
My problem is I just already own basically everything on PS3 I would want, and it's all already downloaded. So I don't. There's just
You don't have any physical games left for it?
I got a bunch of physical games.
Well, you can
but
rip them to your hard drive.
yeah, but then what's the point in having them all on my shelf?
Exactly.
And then I got to put them in a box, and then they're going to sit in a box, and I'm going to feel bad that they're in a box, and then they're going to get disc rot, and then they're going to die. I
But
don't know.
if they're going to get disc rot and die eventually anyway, shouldn't you have backed
I
them
don't
up to
know.
your
I
hard drive?
guess. I guess I should. Retroid, which is still a bad name for a company, makes me think of hemorrhoids every time.
Wow.
I got the Retroids.
You have weird hangups on certain words and names.
What? No, I don't. Like what?
Uh-huh.
What else? What's
Like
what?
Bloodstained was the other one that you
Yeah,
have a
that
weird
one does.
hang-up
That
on?
one kind of grosses me out.
Yeah.
Bloodstained grosses me out. Retroid always makes you think of hemorrhoids. So
I've never once
I got the
thought that.
Retroids.
I think Android. I don't think hemorrhoid.
No, every time I think hemorrhoid.
Do you think hemorrhoids when you think of Android too?
No, for whatever reason.
Very
that one
weird
didn't get
then.
me.
All of this is strange.
Has announced the Mega Drive themed Retroid Pocket Classic 6 with 6 face buttons, which was on my Christmas wish list on that
Yeah.
show a couple years
It
ago.
was.
Last year sometime. Yeah, I was like, I want more 6 button layouts.
I remember that.
As the thing I wanted. So they're doing it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Looks good. So I'm excited about it.
Right.
Nintendo has registered patents showing a hand crank attachment for a Joy-Con. Fuck you, Playdate.
Right.
So,
Fuck your
cool.
patent. I patent it now.
First of all, Nintendo patents weird shit all the time and then does fucking
True.
nothing with it.
This is
Sometimes they release hardware and then do fucking nothing with it. They
Also true. Yeah.
or especially peripherals or accessories that they release and then do fucking nothing with them.
They make one game for it and then never touch it again.
You know, how many games worked with the Labo VR headset?
I believe it's Labo.
Is it Labo?
Yeah, 'cause it's short
Labo.
for laboratory.
Makes me think of hemorrhoids. So cool, but like I don't know. I don't care. I don't want a crank on. My reaction to this is the same as my reaction to motion controls, which is that's really neat. Can I still use regular buttons? I don't
Right,
want to
yeah.
crank. I don't want to crank a thing. I already got enough stuff to crank
What
in
if
my
it's
life.
what if it's explicitly for Sega bass fishing?
You know what? No, I'd rather push a button. I don't want to do a crank. I just don't want to. Atari and Microsoft have released Heretic plus Hexen Remaster. I downloaded it. I played a bunch of it. I forgot to put that in my weeks. But it's good. It's good. It's very good. It's very much along the same lines as the Doom 1+2 remaster they did recently.
Have you played any of the new levels yet?
No, I played regular Hexen, 3 or 4 or 5 levels,
Nice.
and then I played a good amount of Heretic. I had never played.
Oh.
I thought Heretic was just a straight sequel to Hexen, and it's not.
No, Heretic is the first game.
It's well, either way, I thought they were just a game and then a sequel. Hexen is like just fantasy Doom, and then Heretic
Yeah.
is like no. What if we made this kind of an RPG sort of thing with
I think you
classes
have them
and stuff?
backwards. Heretic is Fantasy Doom.
Do I have them backwards?
Heretic is the first one. Hexen
Okay.
is the
Which
the
is-
second one. The
All right,
more
Hexen's
advanced
the one with. God, why would they not make the names more different? Which one has the classes where you pick like warrior, cleric, or wizard? That's
I
Hexen.
believe that's Hexen.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't-
Heretic came first. I know that.
All right.
And I know that Hexen was more advanced. Granted, I'm not a huge FPS person. I could be wrong, but
Yeah,
my
I think you're right. I
memory
think you're right.
was-
Yeah. Hexen is Heretic plus Hexen. Heretic is Fantasy Doom. It's just
Yeah.
kind of skinned. Hexen is very much like, no, this is a new
Yeah, it's
game, a
good.
new idea.
yeah, it's got more
using
in-depth
The
systems. and
Doom
everything.
engine, which is cool. They're both very cool games. But
Yeah.
I'd never played much Hexen. I guess I'd played Heretic. And they're really good. If you're interested in them, they're good. It's like $15 for the bundle. They're on GOG.
It's a shame they didn't put Hexen 2 in there too, though.
Yeah, they did include some kind of like extra bonus level stuff and
Yeah,
different.
they got the DLC, or not DLC, the expansion packs and some new levels for each
Yeah.
game.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does not have Hexen 2.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nintendo announced a kid-centric line of Mario products called My Mario, which they're cute. They're cool.
Yeah, it's not
I like 'em.
super surprising. Nintendo releases Mario products for kids all the time, but
Yeah.
now they're branded. So
There you go. Get your kids brand loyal from a young age. Change.org has removed the petition to overturn Collective Shout's meddling in digital marketplaces. Did they give a reason why, or did
I
just
don't believe so. At least last I checked, they had not. No.
fuck us? I guess it's stupid. It's all so stupid.
Yeah.
Google is killing Steam support on Chromebooks, much to the chagrin of every K through 12 student in America, because all of the schools got duped into buying Chromebooks. My daughter uses a Chromebook at school every day, so that
I didn't even
sucks.
realize there was a version of Steam for Chromebook. What would it
I
even
didn't
play?
either. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how functional it is or was. I
Right.
mean, now it's not functional at all.
Right.
But
Yeah, now it's dead.
you know, and I know we talk a lot about like Steam being kind of one of the marketplaces that we trust a little more than other ones as far as like
Yeah.
renting our games, which is kind of
Right.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
But seeing this kind of thing, you know, like there's someone out there that bought a Chromebook to play their Steam games. It was a bad idea, clearly.
Right.
But they're now getting their games taken away from them.
The good news is you can, as long as it's an official Chromebook and not an aftermarket Chromebook, you can install Linux apps on it. So then you could just install the Linux version of Steam and keep
I
going.
suspect the person that bought the Chromebook to play Steam games probably got an off-brand one. I think it's probably a series of bad
Well,
decisions that would lead to that.
It'll anything that is Google certified that has Google Chrome OS and not Chromium OS or Chrome. What is the one you can just install?
I've never used any of them. I have no
Anyway.
idea.
As long as it came pre-installed and it is Google Chrome OS, you can run Linux apps on and Android apps on it.
I
But if
feel like
it's-
the Venn diagram of Chrome users that would be comfortable installing Linux is more
Yeah, that's the
separate than
problem.
even the Linux Windows Venn diagram.
Right.
Because the whole point of
So-
Chrome was that it was simple.
You don't have to install anything.
Yeah, simple. Nothing installs.
Right.
Nothing. You don't own anything. Nothing's on your computer, and now nothing works.
All right.
Ruby Spears' Mega Man cartoon is coming to Blu-ray, so it can be inflicted upon a new generation of children.
Enjoy
Now
that,
you too
kids.
can see Mega Man just looking fucking weird all the time.
Yeah.
Very weird, gangly.
In a different way than he did on Captain N.
Right. He's never looked not weird.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's I don't, you know, I told myself I wouldn't buy it. But I also might buy it, man. I don't know.
I will not. No, I won't. I won't do it. I could barely stand watching it back in the day. Like I really wanted to enjoy it
It was
because it was
bad.
Mega Man,
It was a piece
and then
of
I
shit.
watched it and was like, no. Mm-mm.
Ruby Spears is, that's the same thing.
That's the
Atari and
thing you
Namco
just
are
read.
releasing a special Pac-Man themed Atari 2600. The whole thing is like
Bright
neon yellow. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but it's only got the Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man on it, which
Yeah, that's bad.
Ugh.
Is it? I thought it was a different version, but I
Is
guess-
it? Okay.
I wanted to
Well, that's
say
something.
it looked like the 7800 version on the
it
cartridge.
might be a little better. Yeah,
Um,
the 7800 version would be okay.
Because I was going to make the same joke. It's like, yeah, so you can play Atari 2600 Pac-Man, which is fucking terrible.
It really is.
But I'd have to scroll back up through. But I think it was a better version.
Yeah.
McDonald's Japan's Pokemon promotion is ending early because everyone was throwing away the food, just keeping the Pokemon cards. I don't know.
I don't know what they thought was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know why companies keep needing to learn this lesson. Like that one museum that got fucking like rushed by a mob of people for Pikachu cards. Why do we keep having to learn this lesson? Quit putting Pokemon shit in things and being like, oh, just kids will care about it. No. 38-year-old adult men are going to freak the fuck out about it.
Yeah.
Just trust me. They're just gonna. Just know that it's
maybe-
going to happen.
Maybe if their Pokemon toys didn't have the big titty Pikachu in there.
Right. Quit putting big tits on the Pikachus. Like, as an adult man who, I want some Pokemon cards. Like, let me tell you, you're going to get some additional interest. Be prepared for it. Anyway, it was sad. It was a sad story. It's just kind of one of those things that's just sort of gross top to bottom.
Right.
A recompiled port of Mario Kart 64 on Dreamcast has been shown off because the Dreamcast can do anything that the N64 can do, Saturn. Don't you know?
Dreamcast was such a giant leap from N64.
Oh, yeah.
For being less than 2 years away, graphically, that is a massive leap.
It's a big jump.
A lot of people forget how close those two systems were to each other. But
I think
but
what
it's
really
nice to see Mario
happens is
Kart there.
a lot of people forget how bad N64 looked.
That's true. It did look pretty garbage. But
Yeah. But that's cool. I love weird projects like this. This is neat.
yeah. And I was always glad to hear that Mario Kart 64 was successfully decompiled. So
Yeah.
seeing it find a new home on a better console is nice.
New Line Cinema has announced a Space Invaders film adaptation.
Why?
We already had that. It was called Independence Day. It starred Will Smith. Aliens
Justin,
Invaded.
It was called Mars Attacks.
It was called Mars Attacks. It starred Jack Black and Randy Quaid, and was J.K. Simmons in that? Pierce Brosnan was in it. You know what? That was
Jack
a good
Nicholson
fucking movie.
was in that.
Jack
Michael J.
Nicholson
Fox
was in that. Yeah, that was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't.
Tom
it was a piece
Jones
of shit.
was in that.
It was
as
a piece
himself.
of shit, but everyone in it knew it was a piece of shit. And
Yeah,
had
it's such
fun
a
with
great
it.
movie.
I struggled to watch it now because the last time I tried to watch it, my daughter passed out from having too high of a fever, and we had to rush to the ER.
Oh,
And so I have bad memories of it now, and so I
Oh.
struggle to get through it. It's very.
I had completely forgotten that Jack Black was in that.
He was in that, and he was the soldier brother,
Wow.
and died like fucking immediately. Got
Yeah.
vaporized. He was I think the first guy they killed.
Oh.
We're making fun of the Space Invaders movie for being dumb, and then we're talking about how great this movie based on like a '60s trading card was. Series of trading cards
In
that were
fairness,
themselves, I think, a spinoff of trading cards that were dinosaurs killing people.
possibly. Either way,
Uh,
Mars Attacks is a great movie, and you should watch it. That's what we're saying.
Yes, I have no hope for the Space Invaders film.
No, me either.
Chibi Robo added to Nintendo Switch Online Plus Plus for Switch 2. So there you go. You can be Chibi Robo.
Yes.
Microsoft has banned spam bundles from the Xbox store, so you have to get your
Good.
canned meat elsewhere. Not get it on the Xbox store anymore. They're not selling it.
Now, these companies were releasing like 30 different bundles of the same game, and it would just be like, you
Fill
get
your
the
search
Xbox
results with
version
shit.
and the Xbox version, or you
Yeah.
get the Xbox version and the Xbox version and the Xbox version. And that way it would flood the store, so it'd look like this game was everywhere when really it was just the one release.
Yeah.
And so now Microsoft has banned that, which is good. They should have done that a long time ago. It's frustrating when these things happen, not because they happen. It's a good thing they happen, but it's frustrating because when it happens, you have to stop and think, so they could have done this the whole time.
Right.
And they waited
Right.
until
And
right
it doesn't
now.
seem like it was even that hard.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
But
A new
Danny
game
DeVito was in Mars Attacks.
was he? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, was he the dad?
I think so. Oh,
I don't
man.
fucking know,
Anyway,
man.
sorry.
We need to
anyway.
watch Mars Attacks, is what I've
Right?
decided.
I got it on my Plex.
A new Game Boy emulator for Playdate can run games at near full speed.
Well, the previous emulator was nowhere near full speed, so
You know,
I'm glad that they're
good for the Playdate.
almost completely full speed. Like I heard, like on most games, it is full speed.
It seems like a great screen for original Game Boy games too.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our topic at hand.
Yeah.
Which is title.
Oh, goddamn!
That's my fault. That's my bad. It's Nox. We are talking Nox. Synopsis: Diablo's dumber cousin. Which I put in as a joke, and by the end of this, think you'll see why it is not a joke. This released in North America February 16th in the year 2000, in European territories February 25th, 2000. First encounters, literally never heard of this one when it
Oh.
was a thing. Didn't know it existed. I've just seen it casually thrown around in the ARPG discussion, online, the discourse, as kind of a forgotten gem in the action RPG genre. I really didn't know about Westwood. They shut down when I was like 12 or 13.
Oh yeah, that's
And a lot of their games are
sad.
kind of, that mid-teenager, older sort of crowd. And so I Westwood passed me by, Nox passed me by, Command and Conquer passed me by. My first Command and Conquer was 3,
oof.
which was not them, I don't think.
Yeah. I think that was after they had already shut down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you have to play that Lion King game they made on Super Nintendo?
I had the Game Gear Lion King. Did they make that one too?
No, they did not make the Game Gear.
No, I didn't have the Super Nintendo one. So yeah, I didn't know about it. I literally picked it up on GOG a few weeks ago just because like I've seen the name and it was like $1. And
Yeah.
I was like, $1 for an action RPG? I'll try it. Sure.
Yeah,
Why
I think
not?
we saw it in Read Along this last week or this last time.
Yeah. I think
I think that was part of what inspired you.
Yeah. I think we might have seen a review of it.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we do all this hours of recording and we don't fucking remember anything
Nope.
that we say or do on the show.
We will not remember something the moment we stop recording. It's great because people will reference something that we said on the show in the
All the
chat,
time.
and I'll have no idea what they're talking about,
It'll be
even if
like,
it was the
we
most
recorded
recent
it the
episode.
day before, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was funny. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea. You need to give us context or we will not know what you were talking about.
Give me timestamps. I'll go find it.
Don't even give me a timestamp. Tell me what I said so that I can respond to it. I won't listen to it.
I'm convinced it's some form of performance anxiety. You know how like when you have to like give a speech in front of a crowd, you don't fucking remember even doing it because you're so
Yeah.
nervous going out there. It's like performance
fair.
anxiety. It's got to be that.
Yeah, something like
Gotta be
related to
something
that.
like that. I mean, really, I just
I-
have everything anxiety, but
That's
you know.
fair.
Anyway,
my,
Saturn Knox.
My first encounter would have been when I worked at EB, and I think I started working there in 2001, and it was still on our shelf because it's still relatively recent release at that point.
Yeah.
And it quickly became the game that never sold. It would sit right there next to Oni on the shelf
That
because
song from Lamb
alphabetical.
Chop. This is the game that never sold.
Yeah, basically. So it was that and Oni and I can't remember the other one, but there was one with like this freaky sorceress lady on the cover, and those three just sat on our PC shelf long enough that I couldn't front face them anymore. It didn't make sense, so I would just put them sideways so that their spine would show. And they just never sold. They lived there until I stopped working there. They were our last few big box PC games.
They when I started GameStop in 2005, they didn't sell PC games at all. I think we might have had like a tiny little shelf somewhere of like shit that just hadn't been pennied out yet.
Warcraft.
Yeah, basically.
At GameStop, it stopped way before EB. At EB, we still sold PC games, but I remember people coming from GameStop because they're like, those guys don't even sell PC games anymore. And also, we took them in trade for the longest time, and GameStop
Really?
refused
Yeah.
ever to take PC games in trade.
Honestly, I don't blame them.
But we would take them, but we wouldn't take MMOs or anything like that. And we were supposed to check to make sure that the activation key was included.
Yeah.
And some people wouldn't. And we would get shipments from other stores of used PC games they couldn't sell. And I'd have to go through it and be like, well, this doesn't have an activation key. This doesn't have an activation key. And all those just get thrown away because they
Yeah.
were useless at that point.
Development. So Mike Booth started working on the game in 1995, and at one point Virgin Interactive was on to publish the game according to CGW, but they dropped it and it was put on hiatus. This is not info I could find anywhere outside of CGW. Was also not on the Wikipedia page for the game.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Which is weird.
because Westwood was owned by Virgin at the time. That's probably how Westwood ended up getting involved with all that.
Oh yeah, that might be like I was reading the Knox review in CGW, and they're like after Virgin dropped it, and nothing else
yeah.
even mentions Virgin, so that must be the corporate chain of events then.
Right.
Anyway, eventually Westwood's John Haidt saw a demo of Knox, and Westwood acquired the game and Booth's team to presumably publish Knox.
Yeah, which is probably how he ended up doing some work on the Command & Conquer series and all that.
Yeah. Haidt said in an IGN interview, which is where most of this info comes from, that the game was originally just a multiplayer Wizard duel game, which I think is an idea they should have kind of
That
kept,
sounds much more interesting.
than the game it turned into, but we'll talk more
They
about
could just
that
do
later.
the Wizard Duel from 1-2 Switch.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. He also said that as far as comparisons to Diablo go, Nox has a much richer storyline, which is
Questionable.
it's not true. Not true. A lot of the interview kind of couches the game as competition for Quake and Unreal, which makes sense in the context of the game's original vision, which was an online multiplayer duel game. But it feels kind of strange because it turned into a full-blown story-driven RPG. So it's like, Unreal Tournament versus this full story-driven action RPG just feels kind of like a strange
Yeah,
comparison to be making.
Yeah, those are very different genres. But at the time, it was just like video game versus video game.
Yeah, well, also
People,
like anything online, you have to compare
Yeah.
to Quake and Unreal too. So,
true. Yeah. Also, anything on PC.
yeah, on PC and online, like you're getting Quake and Unreal comparisons.
Right.
In a different interview with GameSpy, Booth mentions that the game was originally thought of as a follow-up to Gauntlet, but that his time binging Mortal Kombat and Magic the Gathering pushed him into spell combat-focused gameplay. And at one point, the spells themselves were apparently supposed to be executed with complex button presses inspired by Mortal Kombat.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
I'm glad they didn't either, but you can kind of see it. So in the game, when you cast a spell, little hand symbols pop up above your guy, and he says little spell words.
That's right.
And it almost seems like they wanted to have this sort of phonetic button pressing thing to put spells together.
Instead, it just makes him sound like an idiot all the time.
Yeah, he just goes, bruh, bruh, bruh. There was I do want to also apologize to whoever put all of the fucking conjecture into the Wikipedia article and then just threw citation needed on it, trying to talk about how awesome and radical the game was, because I deleted all your stupid bullshit out of this Wikipedia article because it was conjecture. You have no cited sources. That was stupid. And sorry that I did that to you. So the Nox Wikipedia article is now no longer a advertisement for the game. I apologize to anyone upset by that. Presentation-wise, this is kind of a realistic isometric style. I don't even really want to say Diablo-esque because Diablo kind of has its own sort of like dark gothic style. This is sort of just generic fantasy, I guess.
Yeah, it feels kind of generic fantasy-y.
It does have a few, I think a total of 4 fully voiced cutscenes, but there is a lot of in-game voice work with a relatively notable cast. So we're going to go through the cast and the story here. I think I should probably start with the cast. So I'm going to scoot down a little bit. So Sean William Scott is Jack Mower, our protagonist.
That's bizarre.
The Sean William Scott. Who I love. I love that guy. He's great. Joanna Cassidy is Hecuba. Alan Oppenheimer is Jandor, the airship captain that you run into. Mark Rolston is Warlord Horrendous. Warren Burton is Aldwin the Conjurer.
Huh.
Ian Abercrombie as Horvath the Wizard. Also features Mike Booth, Lee Perry, and Susan Chesler. So weirdly star-studded cast. I mean, I guess it was kind of Westwood. They kind of had
they had some clout.
Yeah, they were sort of known for this.
I mean, they were already getting some relatively decent talent for Command and Conquer as well. So
sure. As far as the story, so some quick notes. Most of this is told via loading screens, and as far as I've been able to find, the game only actually has 4 cutscenes. And I found myself pretty intensely bored by the goings-on of the game's plot because it was all either descriptive voiceover of some guy just being like, the village of Gar has been attacked by orcs across the Trollmar Bridge. We must go southwest across the land of blah, blah. And it just...
That's how every Western fantasy game sounds to me.
It's like when you see those videos or whatever that's like how such and such sounds to people who aren't fans. It feels like that.
Yeah.
But it's just too dense. The jargon is too dense,
Yeah.
It's either that or loading screen, and it's delivered poorly. It's too much information. Nothing is ever really repeated in a way that makes anything stick or it lets you grab onto anything to be interested in. And the game seems a little obsessed with creating this deep lore and world building, but it doesn't seem to understand what makes lore and world building engaging. It just seems to think having a fantasy list of fantasy words that's 300 words long is engaging, and that's world building. And it's
I knew a lot of guys in high school who felt the same way.
I know grown adults that think that just having to have a glossary makes it world building, and it's like, no, that just makes it jargon,
Yeah, so long as all the names are made up of mostly consonants and multiple syllables.
So I quit the story long before finishing the for reasons that'll become clear pretty soon.
Yeah.
So most of the story I just kind of read, which apparently, since it's all in loading screens, I would have had to read some of it anyway. So, backstory: Necromancers tried to take over Nox, which is the name of the land. and they were stopped by Jandor and his Staff of Oblivion. Everything's also really generically named.
Yeah.
He trapped all the necromancer souls in an orb and had his buddy Horvath send the orb to another dimension, and then kept one of their babies because, you know, when you decimate a
You keep
people, you
babies.
keep one of the babies. Yeah.
Yeah. In case you
he-
need to plant it later.
And so then
to grow
he
more
had
people.
this baby and was like, I don't fucking know what to do with this. So he left it with a village of ogres.
Right. Yeah.
And then he took his legendary staff that banished the orb and he broke it into pieces and he gave the pieces to a bunch of different settlements.
Okay.
And that baby grew up to be our big bad, the necromancer.
Wait. The baby that was raised by ogres.
Yeah, the baby of necromancers raised
Uh-huh.
by ogres who had
Turned
all
out
of
to be
her
a bad
people
guy?
killed. Yeah, she grew up to be Hecuba,
Oh.
which is
How-
basically just a lady in full bondage gear.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's what bad guys wear. But who would have thought with such a great childhood?
I know. You know, you raise them
There
right.
goes
and
the
they
nature
just-
versus nurture argument.
So she finds her roots and is now calling herself the Necromancer Queen and wants to take over the Nox and bring the Necromancers back. Because I guess Necromancers is like a race of people and not just
Yeah.
a job in this world. It's
I
kind of
guess.
weird.
Yeah, she's-
It's bizarre.
yeah.
So the game opens with Hecuba summoning Jack Mower to the land of Nox. So the
Yeah.
opening cutscene is Sean William Scott as Jack Mower watching TV while his comically high-pitched girlfriend Tina like rattles on about something.
Yeah.
And
in
then
the
he's-
trailer.
Yes, yeah, in their little trailer home, and he's sucked Captain In style through the TV. But then I don't know why I have such a problem with this. He gets sucked through the TV,
Uh-huh.
but the TV comes with him.
Yeah. Gets sucked in
does-
on itself.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
None of it. Getting sucked into the TV doesn't make sense, Justin.
Okay, people can get sucked into TVs as a portal to another world, but once you create a portal to another world, it doesn't take the portal with it. Doesn't make
Well, a
sense.
time machine takes its time machine with it.
Time machines aren't possible, so.
Well, neither is getting sucked through a TV.
Okay, we just don't have the science yet. We don't know. Anyway,
You can only
Uh,
get sucked through plasma TVs, Justin.
live action Captain In reboot movie win. Nintendo.
Yeah, right?
You got to do it. Anyway, Jack becomes the hero via slowly working his way through the various crises that have been tangentially caused by Hecuba throughout the land. Stuff happens. Eventually, you defeat Hecuba, and you're given one of 3 endings depending on your class, because it's 3 different paths that you take. So if you're a warrior, you defeat her and you're teleported back to Tina.
Okay.
I don't know how because the TV came with you. Maybe she bought a new
You
TV.
just went back through the TV.
That does, but it doesn't. It can't. I can't. Yeah. The
Did-
Conjurer
Does he ever get the TV back from that dude on the
airship
airship?
captain. No, they
No.
seem to really be into the TV because there's a whole bit in the opening cinematic about it's a television, and you're like, is
Yeah.
this going to be some kind of plot thing? No, it's just
no,
a
it's
joke.
that one moment.
The Conjurer class kills Hecuba and traps her soul in the orb. So kind of predictable path.
Okay, yeah.
And then the wizard, blasts her with magic energy, and she turns from a lady in black lipstick and black bondage gear to a lady in white bondage gear and is a good version of herself. And it kind of implies that maybe they bang.
It's like a light necromancer.
I don't know. Diet necromancer. She's like, she's in all this black bondage gear.
So
And then she's like zapped, and now all of a sudden she's blonde and in white bondage gear.
she's necromancer zero sugar.
And she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Jack Mo." It's just stupid. It's just a weird.
He's married, or no? He's got a girlfriend.
He's got a
my bad.
girlfriend. Yeah. So I mean, nothing happens. It's only vaguely like, oh, hey,
Nox
but I-
porn win.
I never. Please don't ever do that. No one do that. So the endings are weird.
Yeah.
Like many. I don't know. It's just bizarre. I don't know how
It was
other-
charming though. I will say that opening cutscene is dumb and as bad as it is,
Yes.
it's kind of charming. It's that era of dumb, charming, bad writing, mediocre voice acting, which makes it especially surprising that they actually got talent in there because
Yeah.
it's It's bad acting.
The voice acting is bad. They must have had bad
oh, yeah.
direction or something. But
Oh yeah.
it does have a sense of humor about itself.
Yes. Yeah.
But
it
the
doesn't
sense of
seem to take
humor-
itself seriously, so the badness is okay.
The sense of humor does get overwhelmed a little bit by here's your glossary of 700 fantasy
Right.
terms. Each one has 13 apostrophes in it. And you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
But then it's also generic. It's the Staff of Oblivion, Lord Horrendous. Like, what is this? Like, come on, man. It's
I
like
think I had an
Tolkien.
old boss named Lord Horrendous.
It wasn't. This is the brother of Lord Humongous. They were twins. He fought the Road Warrior. It's just I don't know. It's like Tolkien by way of a sixth grader. You know.
Right. Yeah.
But let's talk gameplay.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of it. Basics,
Yeah.
this is isometric dungeon crawling. There are 3 classes. Warrior, which is your melee fighter and gains skills.
Mhm.
Conjurer uses bows and spells and can summon and charm monsters. And then Wizard uses staves and wizard spells, which are
Yeah.
the most powerful spells.
Does wizard stuff.
There is a full single-player story-driven campaign. There are
Story driven
multiplayer.
is doing a whole lot of heavy
It's-
lifting right there.
There's a single-player campaign. Then there is also a story. Maybe is
Yeah,
more
There's a
accurate,
single
but-
player linear campaign that has some story peppered into it.
There are multiplayer modes which are very kind of they took modes kind of from FPSs of the era. So it's like
Yeah.
deathmatch, capture the flag. There's like
weird.
a King of the Hill mode, but you're just doing isometric wizard
The
duels,
King
which
of the Hill mode is where you have Boomhauer show up.
yeah, he shows up and you have to figure out what he's saying, and the person who
Yeah.
does it wins. And
And he's only speaking in generic fantasy terms.
there's Nox Quest, which was a later edition. It was a free expansion pack, and it adds a single player or cooperative arcade style mode.
Yeah, that's the one that we messed around with for a little bit there.
Yeah, and of these 3 modes, Nox Quest is pretty fun. It is very Gauntlet-y.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's very arcadey. You go through, you pick up your spells and stuff as you play the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. The multiplayer was fun because we were just killing each other, and I
Yeah.
could see it being a good couple of weekends of fun if we had like 3 or 4 people and we were all playing it in like 2001 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I would have stuck with it, but I do think Nox Quest was pretty cool. The levels were a little too long, but
Yes.
you know.
And we got lost a lot.
We did, but I think that's just kind of the nature of ARPGs. You're just
That's fair.
supposed to get lost. So I've kind of broken this down into categories, right? So instead of going through each gameplay element, I've decided to talk about what works and what doesn't work.
Fair.
Because neither you nor I fully explored the game.
No.
But I do think this is one of those cases of the game being interesting. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. Because it is very much does not feel Diablo-esque to me. Kind of at all. Except for the fact that it is mostly mouse-driven
Isometric
and
and
isometric. That's
mouse-controlled, yeah.
kind of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stuff that
And
works
vaguely
that
fantasy themed.
I thought was cool. True Sight is their fog of war system. And it dynamically reveals and unreveals the map as you move around.
That is kind of
And-
neat to like walk up to a window and see what's outside and everything.
Yeah,
It's
like for
cute
the
an
era,
isometric game.
really cool tech, works
Oh,
really
yeah.
well, and is sufficiently dynamic and neat. I really enjoyed it. I liked the utility spells. I like utility spells in any game, but there's weird spells that like you can manually trigger traps with them. You can make walls, just all sorts of cool stuff like that.
I kept
I'm always
forgetting that I
a fan
had
of
spells,
those.
so I didn't really experience much of that.
Yeah, you just healed yourself over and over.
I did heal myself a lot.
The
and said,
traps in
"Bruh."
the game are cool. They can also hit enemies, and they add a real funhouse feel to the game because the traps are weird. It's like laser beams and fists coming from the ceiling to
Yeah,
squish you, and they're very silly traps. But I think
Yeah,
the traps,
it was like somewhere between dungeon and funhouse level of traps.
yeah, it was very funhouse-esque.
Yeah.
I think the voice works okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was not the best I've ever heard, but it was not the
It's
worst I've ever heard.
Like it's corny, but it's not bad.
Yeah. And like you talked about earlier, I really like the game's sense of humor.
Yeah.
The sense of humor never really gets. I think this is one of those things where if it was like 50% sillier,
Mhm.
I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more because
Yeah.
it's silly, But it's also still like, all right, silly stuff aside, now we're telling this very serious story about necromancers. And then the silly will kind of come in as a big purple fist squishes a zombie in a dungeon.
Right, yeah.
I think if they leaned into it a little more, I would have enjoyed it more.
That's fair.
I think all the spells are pretty cool in the game. There's a lot of them. You do get a spell book, and you have to flip through the pages and build your hotbar out. And there's a very large variety, which I enjoy, because I feel like I had kind of a toolbox of spells to play around with and kind of figure out how I want to play the game, which was neat. I liked that each class had a different story and a different starting area, so it's not just the same campaign 3 times. Like, you have fully different opening sections of the game,
That's
which is
neat.
That's cool. The classes in general feel neat and distinct. They're very different from one another. Conjurer, like you eventually start really kind of relying on charming and summoning monsters. And I thought it was cool that you could summon 2 creatures at a time, which was still kind of summoning multiple creatures in a game like that. It's kind of a weird thing for the era. Like, you don't see that very often.
Yeah.
And you could summon them and give them different commands. So you'd have 2 different monsters, and you could have one guard you and the other one go hunt for monsters and stuff, which is
And you have that one that gets stuck in the basement.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. We're on the positive.
Oh,
part
right.
of the
Sorry,
game,
my
Saturn.
bad.
We're being
It was kind
positive.
of funny.
True. I do like that the dungeons were very multi-level, with lots of elevators. So there was a lot of vertical traversal in the dungeon. I like that. Like I get annoyed when the dungeon is just like one large single-story map that you just have to slowly reveal. Like, give me some texture here, you know. Yeah. The puzzles were interesting. There's a good amount of room puzzles that are pretty cool. I got zapped with a laser beam in one of them because I didn't see a floor plate, and some of them you really have to look at and think about for a minute, like how you're going to try to traverse them. They're also good about hiding secrets and stuff in the walls and shit of the puzzles. So, like, if you have to run past a spike trap, halfway there, the true sight system will reveal a secret room you didn't notice, and you try to duck in there real fast. Like, I like that tension. Nox Quest in general, we said earlier, I think was really fun, and I enjoyed it. And again, multiplayer deathmatch is really cool. It's chaotic, it's silly.
It's a neat idea for that genre.
Yeah. Which brings us to the what doesn't work.
The rest.
Which is also the True Sight Fog of War system. Because while it's cool and interesting and creates a dynamic playing field, it does kind of create a constant sense that the walls are sort of shifting. And it makes...
And also you end up in this bad situation where if you step 1 pixel over, suddenly you can't see a whole area where you're getting attacked from.
Yeah, and like the way the walls render, it looks like they're kind of crawling.
Yeah.
It's just kind of hard to find your bearings and hard to look at sometimes.
Right.
It's like if you've ever been sitting in your car and like a car pulls up next to you, but out of the corner of your eye, you think it's a parked car, so you think your car is moving.
Right.
And you have that kind of like, oh, like I thought I was, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
The mouse-driven controls are fucking bad. And they were so bad that, because I was like, am I just going crazy? So I went back to Diablo 2, which is also mostly mouse-driven. And I was like, what makes Nox so bad? And it is that there's no click to go to an area. Yeah. You have to click and then drag yourself that direction.
Yeah, you have to kind of point that direction and shift it like you're moving a map.
Yeah, and in my head, I was like, well, this is kind of what Diablo has too, and it does. But it also has click to move. You can click on a point and your character will run there.
Right.
And it just... because it's just not good. The mouse feels really inaccurate. Picking up items is really hard. Clicking on enemies is really hard.
Yeah.
It's just... I never felt like I was able to accurately and swiftly click on items and pick stuff up easily.
Yeah, it did feel very clunky and awkward, and I felt like I was fighting with the controls more than using them.
Constantly, yeah. Having to find spells is a neat angle, but it kind of wears thin when you can't find or afford useful ones like healing magic and stuff. Pathfinding on summoned creatures is fucking awful. They fall in pits and they run off and get stuck behind doors and shit, and it makes them kind of useless because the summon spells are also really long. So it's a cool idea, but it just doesn't work because of the multi-level dungeons. They just
Right.
are constantly falling down pits or getting stuck on elevators.
Oh yeah.
The dungeon design in general is kind of labyrinthian. It's the every level in the Gauntlet mode, the Nox quest we played was like 30% too long.
Yeah, and a lot of side paths that went nowhere and included nothing.
The main game, because I went through a good chunk of it, is the same. Every dungeon is just way longer than it needs to be because that's all the game is. It's just these big labyrinthian dungeons. Lighting sucks. I can't fucking see anything in this game. Constantly I'm struggling to see things. I think it's cool that they have a lighting system, but it does not work very well.
Yeah, a little too primitive.
I just wrote general ugliness of the graphics in motion. There's a lot of graphical movement with the True Sight system and the way the characters are made. It just makes it kind of ugly. There's no easily digestible stat comparisons on gear. You have to like equip an item and then go to your stats and then see how it changed your stats and then go back to the item and then equip the other item and then it's just not. It's kind of a.
I thought I'd found some way to compare things, or I think I might have just been hovering over an item, seeing what its stats were, and then hovering over the other item to see what its stats were.
I feel I when I wrote that, I thought it didn't have that, so I don't know. Maybe it wasn't working on mine because another problem with the game is that it kind of doesn't fucking work. Even the GOG version kind of doesn't fucking work, and you have to use now abandoned third-party launchers and fan mods that kind of also don't work. So maybe it just didn't work for me because I couldn't get it to function. Class restrictions suck because you still find stuff for the other classes, and you're like, oh, that's 2/3 of the shit that I find I can't use.
Which especially makes no sense if the game has different story paths for each job. Just don't put the gear for those other jobs.
Don't put them in it. And then my final thing is it's just very linearly designed. It never really feels like there's any exploration. You're sort of huddled from one big labyrinthian dungeon to the next labyrinthian dungeon to the next labyrinthian dungeon, with no real world exploration in between. Like you kind of run between towns a little bit, but it's like, all right, run over there. Okay, you're there now. Now go into this gigantic underground dungeon that looks just like the other one.
Right.
And it just ends up being too repetitive.
Very samey.
It feels like a third as much game stretched out to the size that it is.
Yeah, if all the levels had been shorter, I think it could have been if it had been a little more arcadey and a little less trying to drag it out into full RPG length. I think it could have been a little easier to digest.
They stuck to Booth's original vision, I think, but I'd even be okay with the story, but cut it down from whatever 15 hours it is to like 6.
Yeah,
I mean, you got 3 different campaigns. I'd be okay with 3 3-hour campaigns.
Right.
I think that would be great. I could knock a couple out in an afternoon and then go play some deathmatch. I think that would make it a better package.
Right.
And I think we both just kind of ended up not
meh.
I mean, really, you played it with me as a novelty. This was not your type of game to begin with. But me as an action RPG fan, I struggled to click with this real hard. At first, I was really interested. I was like, it's very weird. It's very different. It feels like Bizarro Earth Diablo. And then the more I played, I was like, oh, it just feels like Diablo if Diablo made all the decisions the wrong way.
Right.
And I ended up really just kind of getting super bored with it and wanting to move on. The game was decently received critically. PC Gamer gave it a respectable 89%, citing repetition as the low point, but they very much enjoyed the multiplayer modes, which makes sense. If I worked in the PC Gamer offices in 2000 and had people to land this with, that'd have been a blast.
Right.
GamePro gave it a 4.5 out of 5, so they were very impressed with the game's controls.
Because they're wrong. That might have been the first time GamePro had ever used a mouse.
That has to be it.
It was Mario Paint and Nox. That was their only experience.
CGW was slightly less thrilled, but still positive with a 3.5 out of 5 and billed it as a more arcade-ish, action-oriented experience compared to Diablo.
I would agree with that one.
And I want to make sure I get the date right. I think it was 5 months. Let me see here. June 2000 was Diablo. February 2000 was Nox. So Diablo 2, I mean. So this had the severe misfortune of looking Diablo-y and coming out
a few months before
just
D2.
A few months before D2, which is in 2025 still one of the most legendary ARPGs ever made.
On the other hand, I
Uh,
could see EA management saying, we have to get this out before Diablo 2. We
Yeah.
have to catch everybody who is desperate for Diablo 2 and can't wait. We need this out right now. So I could see it maybe getting squeezed out earlier than they were comfortable with or something.
Yeah, I tried to put it in the mental context of this is post Diablo 1, but pre Diablo 2.
Yeah.
And as someone who's played a lot of both of the first, really all of the Diablos except for 4, and even 4, I think I played 15 hours of it.
Yeah.
This does feel more advanced technologically than Diablo 1 by a decent margin. I think
Yeah.
it controls worse. But I could see me mentally being, because Diablo 1 was 97. So I could see me being like, all right, 3 years post Diablo 1, Nox comes out, and I'm like, yeah, this does feel like a step forward. I
Yeah.
don't know if I agree with all the steps forward, but it feels good. And then D2 hits a couple months later, and I'm like, oh, never mind. No.
But there had been other games that had also been pushing the steps
Sure,
forward.
there were many. Diablo clones were a dime a dozen in the
Oh, yeah.
late '90s, early aughts. You know, it was
I mean,
it was a thing.
This was at least a year after Baldur's Gate.
But Baldur's Gate's not Diablo clone Saturn. It's a CRPG. It's a different genre.
They feel pretty samey to me.
You can pause the action at any. It's turn based.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you know what? Square Enix doesn't differentiate between turn-based and real-time systems anymore. I guess we
Exactly.
all have to give that fight up now, right?
Yep.
It's
all just the same now.
So I don't know. I guess this is kind of getting into final thoughts, but like as a gauntlet, like I think this is a moderately fun game that could have been a really fun gauntlet like.
Yeah.
As a multiplayer 4+ players game, I think it could be a blast.
Yeah. I can
As a
see that.
single player ARPG, and especially one competing in the same space as Diablo 2, I think it sucks.
I think the even the multiplayer needs a little more polish because it was really just a race to get to that fire rod.
It kind of was, yeah.
But in the same way that the FPSs of the time were a race to get to the rocket launcher.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of par for the course.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
So it could have used a little more balance, but yeah, it was pretty fun in multiplayer.
Yeah, of the 3 games that Nox is, I think 2 of them are interesting and one of them is just kind of bad.
Meh.
It feels so early 2000s.
Yeah.
It feels like the year 2000 all over. And it's funny when I started it because we read about it on Read Along, and then I went and I downloaded it the next day, and then I talked about it last recording session, and I was like, this game is really interesting, and I was like 20 minutes in, and then I played more, and I was like, man, this is just so much more game than they should have made. It's one of those rare instances where I'm like, man, y'all could have really had something if you made way less game. But in the end,
stop some time ago.
Yeah, in the end, it was just the meal that kept going, you know.
Right.
That was good in that first bite, and then by the end, you're like, oh my god. Yeah, and it ended up just being super bored with it.
That's a shame.
Definitely. What about you, Saturn? Final thoughts on Nox? Didn't like it,
No,
didn't want to like it?
I already gave my final thoughts. It's just
okay.
it was arcadey and fun, but unbalanced, and I have no interest whatsoever in the single player mode.
Yeah, that's kind of where
I try because I thought that the quest was the main game. Because why would you call something quest if it isn't the quest?
Yeah.
And so I tried that first and was very confused because there was no story whatsoever, and I got stuck in a trap that I couldn't get out of. And I was like, well, this is kind of lame and dumb, and I don't want to play this. And then you played some multiplayer with me. I was like, oh, this is better. I still don't get it. And then you explained to me that I was not, in fact, even playing the actual campaign.
Yeah.
No,
you had missed it entirely.
Yeah.
I do one day wish that I'll meet Sean William Scott so I can be like, oh my God, you were Jack Mower in Nox. Just to see what he says.
Yeah, I'm sure that's his favorite role that he's ever played.
Yeah, I'm sure he remembers it and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you know what I remembered, Saturn, is that we have a Patreon at patreon.com/RetroWarriors.
He remembered for a whole episode.
You could get the other stuff. I forgot. We have things there. You get all the other things. I remember
Talking
it exists.
Wizard,
Talking Wizards,
pre-show, and read along.
Read along. uncut early access.
That
You can
is
get
pre-show.
you can get access to our secret Talking Wizards channel.
Yeah, or we
That
sometimes
the
talk
most
cereal.
recent message is a picture of Skittles.
Oh yeah, Skittles and D&D dice.
Yes, Skittles and some dodecahedrons would
Yeah.
appear.
Oh wait, no, those aren't
no.
Skittles. They're Crittles.
They're crittles, and they're with dice, like critical hits on dice. Oh, I get it. That's so cute. And you can get it too if you give us money. Then we would like that. These people gave us money. Matthew Davis,
God, that was the worst segue. And Nick Mellon,
Travis Graff,
Retro Rewind.
Rewired.
Oh, sorry, Retro Rewired.
I
can't
read it as
today.
Rewind too.
Yeah.
Robert Vieira Jr.,
Samobam,
Kazan the Mage,
Lee,
Extreme Ass Taco.
and Wyatt.
Extreme Ass Taco has been in our Discord for so long that reading the word Extreme Ass Taco doesn't
Just
even
feels
faze
normal
me.
now.
It's like, oh, this is my friend Bill. This is
Yeah.
my friend Steve. This is my friend Extreme Ass Taco.
I don't know if you've played Mario Kart or any of those with him, but his I think it was his name on Switch or on one of those was Wing Wang. And so whenever my friends and I were playing Mario Kart with them, they'd be like, "Oh, here comes Wing Wang." I appreciate that.
It's weird how Discord desensitizes you to
Right?
bizarre things.
Yes.
Anyway, that's Nox, and we're done. That was the show. We did a whole
We
show.
did it.
Whole show
It's not
on
even
Nox.
midnight, Justin.
I
You
do
get to
feel
sleep.
bad because Nox is one of those games that I know that somewhere there's some hardcore Nox fan that is like, dude, someone did a show on Nox. I fucking love Nox. No one talks about Nox. It was totally forgotten about. And they're going to show up and we're going to be like, we didn't like it.
And
So,
you know, the thing is, I don't even think it's that we didn't like it. We just thought that it was kind of meh.
Yeah, it was. I maintain it was interesting. I know we're way
Yeah.
past final thoughts, but like if it went on sale for $1,
Yeah.
and you had someone to play it with, it's $1 worth of fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
The multiplayer especially is definitely worth.
$1.
Yeah, yeah. Or having someone else let you borrow their GOG
Let you borrow their
version.
GOG copy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also worth it.
Yeah.
But Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week, and as always, let us cling together. I'm still laughing about that bird.